Well, hello everyone. I'm back again for another update on Eon. Today is September 29th, evening time. I am in Harrisonburg, Virginia. As you can see, the outflow clouds are already here from this storm. Yesterday in my video, I stated that I looked at all the reports, did not see any hurricane force winds. Florida, of course, that was before the eye wall came on shore. However, was it really a Cat 4? What I really find remarkable is how many people unquestionably believe what the National Hurricane Center puts out. Don't even question it. It's like they're God or something. They say a hurricane is a Cat 4 or 5. Everybody believes them. Unquestionably. Of course, I was watching videos yesterday of somebody that was on Pine Island in the eye wall. If it really was a Cat 4 or Cat 5 storm, they would not have lived to tell about it. They would have not survived. They would have been killed by flying debris. The storm surge would have swept over that island. This person would be dead. I do not, even with all the pictures of the devastation I've seen, I still don't believe it was actually a Cat 4. I still don't believe it. Like, the death toll would have been huge if it was. Because even a Cat 1 storm, taking the right track onto the coastline, could still wreak havoc. It doesn't have to be a Cat 4 storm to do that kind of damage. I looked at the wind reports throughout the day. The highest I saw was a 79-mile-per-hour report. Should make it possibly Cat 1, maybe a 2 at the most. They were claiming it was a 4. The wind gusts were over 100 in a couple of locales. But the sustained wind, the highest I saw was 79 miles per hour. They were claiming it was 155. I did not see any reports that substantiated that or came even close to that figure. If the sustained winds were really that high, the death toll would have been enormous. People were out in this storm swimming, the eye wall lurking a couple miles offshore. If this was a Cat 4, they would not have lived. They would have been instantly killed. You want to know what a Cat 3-4 storm really does? Do some research on the 1938 hurricane that hit New England. Do some research. That will tell you what a real storm, a real hurricane, will do. A real hurricane that really is that strong. And that was not even a Cat 4 storm on landfall. That was a strong Cat 3. They were claiming this was a strong Cat 4. I'm sorry, I still do not believe it was. We were lied to. Yet we don't want to underestimate the damage that the storm actually caused. I'm not. I mean, Fort Myers got creamed by the storm surge. But you got to really think about it. Fort Myers, most of that area is only a few feet above sea level. They had a river that was aligned perfectly to facilitate an amplification of the storm surge, a funnel effect. And that made it a lot worse. And I kind of sense that the media is amplifying certain areas that really got clocked pretty bad by the storm surge, whereas most areas just had some downed branches, not even trees in many areas. I'm not saying it wasn't a hurricane, but I watched the storm closely yesterday. They were bombing it with the energy I talked about yesterday all day long, even after it got on shore, to enhance the rainfall and make it a lot worse. Try to make it. Today, I was listening in on a news channel when I was having dinner. They were already talking about blaming this storm on global warming. As I said yesterday, the storm was manufactured. It was not a real hurricane. You want to talk about a real hurricane? Do some research on the 1938 hurricane that hit New England. This storm doesn't even hold a candle to what the damage that storm caused, and it was supposedly a weaker hurricane than this one, according to the National Weather Service. So now they're trying to say this has regained Category 1 status off the coast of Georgia. I looked at the images, and I'm sorry, this thing has lost its tropical characteristics. It's turning into a coastal storm off the southeast coast because it's interacting with some very cool air to the north of it. There's frost and freeze advisories, the New York State, Great Lakes, right, tonight. So this cool air is clashing off with the warm air offshore. It's beginning to spin up a low pressure area, and this system, or what's left of it, is getting absorbed into it. It is not entirely tropical anymore. Of course, they're not going to tell you that on the weather report. They're going to say it's another hurricane landfall. What I'm seeing here is just so appalling. I'm glad I'm not a meteorologist. I'd probably quit the profession to the extent that we're all being lied to the extent that people are buying everything they're putting out. It's just unbelievable. How many people unquestionably believe the National Hurricane Service, what they put out on these systems as far as the strength, barometric pressure, when the evidence does not support it? What they're not bringing out is how inactive this season was until just a week ago. We had absolutely no storms the whole month of August. The first week of September, peak of the season, there was nothing going on. So is Ian going to be another major hurricane landfall for South Carolina? No. Of course, I'm watching the images. They are trying to energize this thing very much. But in this case, there is not much time. And again, this is not the same situation as when it was off Florida, because it's getting absorbed into a developing low. That's an actual low pressure that's feeding off of clash between warm and cold air, or cool air, meaning it's not entirely tropical anymore. So they could go on all they want talking about a hurricane landfall. In reality, it's just a coastal storm with some gales that they're going to get, and some heavy rain, which a lot of it is probably enhanced by what their energy they're feeding into the system. So what's going to happen is low is going to form, totally absorb this system, and it's going to be history. That's it. It's terrible what happened in Florida. I'm not underestimating the damage, but if it really was a Cat 4, they would have fared a lot worse. Do some research on Andrew in 1992. Do some research on Hugo 1988 that hit South Carolina. Or David in 1979, what that storm did in the Caribbean. And you'll see what real hurricanes can do versus this. Probably might have been a Cat 1 maybe that took just the right track to maximize the storm surge in one area along the coast. I know people are not going to believe what I'm saying. They're going to believe what the National Hurricane Center said. It was 155. I hear it all over the place. So that is going to be it for this video. Probably after tomorrow, Ian will be written down as a Category 4 landfall in Florida, fourth strongest hurricane to ever hit Florida. They're going to claim, and then after that, well, it's already happening. They're going to say, "See, global warming is causing all this. We need to implement policies to stop this from happening." When indeed, it was somebody pressed the button to create this storm, controlling a satellite or perhaps a number of satellites. Somebody pressed the button out there to create this storm. All this destruction. Somebody pressed the button for it. And that will be my final words for this video. I will be back again soon.